Fit Studios, Leo Urquides, and the Onnit Steel Mace. Tag Mace Movement. Thank you for welcoming me into your guys' humble abode here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming.
And then right next to you, we have the Steel Maces, kind of your babies, right?
These are actually, these three are actually all my babies, so they all have a story. I got this guy. This was my very first mace. I bought this from the certification. You know, they had some equipment come in, and I took this baby home with me. And as you can see, it's got a lot of scars, and with each one of those scars is a story. But this guy has been with me for a long time. And this one of my good friends, Phil Escalante, one of my training partners, buddies, he bought me this 15-pound mace, and it's only been with me for a short time, but it holds a dear spot in my heart. And my buddy Jason Rotunda just got me this 20-pound monster of a mace. And I don't know if you watched or played video games as a kid, but this is E Honda, Street Fighter character. This is Guile, Street Fighter character. And this is Ryu.
Nice.
E Honda's fat mace over there. He's not going to make it on today.
Now, maces, obviously, when we're going medieval times, have been around for hundreds of thousands of years.
Okay.
But Onnit maces, and here in the United States, you were telling me, is a relatively new thing within the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years that the mace has been around. Now let's see. So it really took the mace about a year to get the right instructor. My sensei's name is Eric Mealand. Everybody calls him E-Sick. He's the master mace coach at the Onnit Academy. And he wrote really the programming to set, he wrote the programming for the steel mace. He named the names, named the moves, named the flows. So really, yeah, it is basically new. But you know, the way I always think of it as man's first tool was probably a stick. Whether it was a bludgeon, a walking stick, or a skewer for the meat, a stick. You know, oftentimes when I put somebody through a steel mace workout, they're holding their mace. I feel like a warrior. And this is like average Joe, mom and pop, and you know, I always think to myself, how do you know what a warrior feels like? I think it's embedded into us. You know, my little girl's gonna be a nurse because her mom is a nurse, and you know, that thing kind of happens. So I think it sticks into our DNA. You gotta think, if people are using sticks and hammers and clubs to survive, you build up some type of connection with your implement. And I think that's what these guys do, is they give you a connection to that inner warrior.
Now, before you found this inner warrior, what were you doing? What athletics were you doing? Where was your activity in this strength and conditioning world? What were you doing before the mace?
Now this is a cool story, and this is a lot of the reason why I work with the mace. Back when I was doing martial arts, I was in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and our instructor said, hey, you know, don't lift weights. You know, the bigger your muscles get, the easier you're going to get tapped out. You know, the less snapping there's going to be in your punch. So we didn't do a lot of strength training. Now this is 12 years ago, probably dating myself here. Well, after a while, we needed a strength and conditioning program, and I just never really got into weights. I hate them, really. I get bored very easy. You know, things like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, kickboxing, karate, those all pique my interest because there's a certain artistic value to them. Even though Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, just to give examples, are boxers, they're two very different artists in their craft. I think that there's a lot of artistry with the steel mace. I often ask people, what kind of warrior are you going to be? Are you going to be a Viking? Are you going to be a ballerina? Yes, ballerinas are warriors. Look at their feet. They fight for sure. And there's a lot of interpretation to it. So me, when I started working out with the steel mace, I thought it would help out the combat athlete immensely. It works in rotation, offset weight. It really challenges balance. You know, 3 of the principles, anti-rotation, purposeful rotation, and counter-rotation. And really when I talk about those 3 things, I really talk about core strength and functional strength. I've gotten a chance to really experiment on myself for a long time, and I always thought, man, if I was still fighting, I would swing mace every day. I mean, I feel strong, I feel powerful. And I've been lucky enough, I work in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I get to teach some of our local guys how to swing steel mace. Donald Sanchez is one of my guys, and Nick Urso, one of my guys. Two studs, they seem to dig it.
Now, you were within the first 60 people, I believe, in the country to get certified, go through the program, the curriculum. Yeah. Was that kind of a bump in the road, like little process, like trial and error, or was the curriculum that set in right away and you guys felt comfortable with what you were learning?
Well, so I found out about the mace a year, I'd say 11 months prior to getting my certification. And there's just not any information on it. There's a couple workout videos, but there's no hands-on instruction. So, for about 9-10 months, I kind of swing this mace around, trying to figure things out, trying to watch little videos here and there. So I had practiced working out with the mace, but going to the certification, I mean, it was completely unique. The vernacular, the verbiage, the movements. I mean, it was a foreign world to me, and it was difficult. It was a lot of fun. Some of the things I took away from the certification is how to work on certain areas, what the mace helps an athlete do, what kind of durability you can draw out of somebody on challenging their balance. It's a pretty effective tool. It was not a bump in the road. It was difficult. We did 2 days. It was about 8 hours a day of working out with guys like Carlos Condit was there, Damasio Page, Jen Humphreys, she's an atom weight fighter out of Invicta. But you had all these like Goliaths around you working out. So it definitely pushed a little bit out of the athlete that I am. I wanted to perform on everybody else's level. It was very difficult. I would say I get a message I get a message every day. Hey, tell me about the mace. 5 out of 10 of those messages, hey, I got a mace. What do I do with it? I'll respond, hey, well, what size did you get? You notice my collection is 20 to 10 pounds. It took me a long time to get to this 20-pound mace. I suggest a 10 and 15 pound to start. So, and most people don't think that that's a good weight. 10 pounds, 15 pounds, how does that challenge me? Well, when you put it on the end of a stick, it gets pretty heavy. The closer I hold to the globe, the easier it is to control, but the further away the globe gets, the more difficult it gets. Well, I have a whole arm I can put on top of that as well, and this 15 pounds gets uncontrollable.
And then with the maces, is it just that bulk ball at the bottom is the weight, or does it take into account the handle too?
So the handle, hollow. When Onnit built this, they wanted to come up with the most off-balance item they could. The weight is completely in the head, hollow all the way up to the top. The 15 pounds that this weighs is in its entirety, but I would say 14 and a half pounds, if that, is up front, and then the rest is, there's virtually nothing.
And along with the mace becoming so popular, right before that there was a large boom in the kettlebell industry now. We see a lot of people messing with those. So how do these two coincide with each other or differ from each other?
Well, they're both cannonballs and they both have handles, so they have that working for them. My good friend Conrad, he says a kettlebell's a cannonball with a handle. I say this is a cannonball on a stick. I would say there's a little bit more rotation in the mace. And I'm not a kettlebell expert, so I'm probably the wrong guy to break that down, but my personal opinion is there's a lot more freedom and fluidity with the steel mace. My object, when I take on a personal training client, is to teach them all of the moves and let them come up with their own patterns. We call these patterns flow. Flowing is connecting the first movement with the last movement and the one in between and the third movement and the 100th movement, and they all connect. In my experience with kettlebells, there's a handful of moves. Of course, I don't know them all. With the steel mace, I'm going to make up a new move today and tomorrow and a new connection. And I would say, since it is off balance, switching from hand to hand, from movement to movement, it just goes well together. A lot like sparring. You have your opponent in front of you and they're trying to bend you and fold you and knock you off balance. Pick up a mace. It's going to do all those things. It's going to try and check your balance. It's going to try and take you off your feet. It's going to try and rotate you.
When you talk to the fighters that you've been working with and doing the mace, where do they say they feel the most differences and advancements in their abilities?
Well, first thing they always say is, I thought this would be easier. It's a foreign concept, so the challenge is real. I know I can lift, let's just use a round number, I can deadlift 100 pounds. Most people can. If I'm dead center and everything's balanced, I probably can. If I take a step to the left and I off balance the object I'm working with, I can't deadlift it anymore. Well, that reminds me a lot of life, trying to find balance. Well, if everything's balanced, then how do I get any better at balancing? I think it's effective to challenge balance and challenge rotation. Whenever I work with my fighters, I would say that durability is one of the biggest things that's challenged. Even though I'm not sprinting full speed, I can get your heart rate up there through the roof with simple rotation movements. One thing that I really like about this for my fighters, and this is big for me, you get out of the doctor's office, maybe you had a surgery, maybe you got a bum knee, the doctor will tell you a few things. Don't work out with over 20 pounds, low impact. That's what I do. So my fighters can go do their sparring session and have that day where they're really thudding on each other, and they can have a day they can come in and do something low impact that really challenges them. Another thing I would say is, not only is it a full body workout, because I need every bit of my muscle to control it, it's a full mind workout. That first time you shot a gun, you almost hit panic, and then you squeeze your trigger, and you realize everything's okay. And there's a relief. Oh my gosh, I made it. I'm okay. Whenever I swing my mace around, and my fighters are my athletes or my personal training clients, they'll complete a movement, and then they'll have that sigh of relief. Full body, full mind workout. It'll challenge every muscle in your body. Being that we're working with balance, the weakest part of my body gets challenged every time. If my pecs are a little underdeveloped, the mace will find it. If my left calf isn't as strong as my right calf, it'll find it. And these are things that I couldn't really put together on something that's balanced. My personal growth, mentally and physically, has changed, and my fighters as well.
Here at Fit Studio, you guys obviously been working with a lot of active athletes, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other regular people that come in here too, not fully competitive. So how do you see it benefiting them as they're not specifically athletes, how that transitions to a normal person being amazed with what the mace can do?
Well, here's what I know. Anybody can pick up 10 pounds and 15 pounds. So if you can pick it up, you can do it, as long as you have the right instruction. I actually started out not with fighters, but people trying to lose weight, trying to find something fun to do. Now, whether you're a fighter or Joe Smo or a mom, a dad, whatever your situation is, my key to working out for you is find something that's fun. Because if it's fun, you'll do it again. If it's fun and you do it again, you'll get results. If you get results, you'll absolutely love it. I love swinging mace. Giving somebody a new way to get fit, that's fun. That's really a big key. And I realize swinging a mace isn't for everybody, but get this, my females, 10 times better than my guys. 10 times.
You talked about earlier, you got into this first jiu-jitsu and having been in martial arts yourself. So was this what really pushed you into the strength and conditioning area, gave you the love? Was it starting off with the mace, or was this already a transition for you?
Well, my wife actually is the reason why I'm a personal trainer. I had a couple jobs and I just didn't love what I did. And my amazing wife, Becca, has always pushed me to try and be great and enjoy life. And we saw an ad for a kickboxing instructor. Well, I kickboxed, and I coached a team at one time, and I decided it would be fun to do. And you know, I got into the fitness industry. I really wanted to bring something special to the table. You know, whenever I introduce people to the mace, you know, they say, I've never heard of it before. And I hear that all the time. Usually when I say I'm a mace coach, they think like the self-defense spray, the mace, or the rapper mace, but they never think about, you know, a steel mace. So I said, man, you know, we're Albuquerque. I'm an MMA fighter. My friends are MMA fighters. We have the best school in the world, Jackson Winklejohn. No offense to any other schools out there. I'm just biased, okay? Hometown, 505. So I thought, hey, you know, if I can bring this skill and I can bring it at a high level, I can help out my hometown. I can help contribute to the many world champions that we have, even if it's just a little bit. You know, there are people out there now who know what the steel mace is because of our efforts here at Fit Studio and my personal efforts. Tatanka Means, he's one of our local actors. Jeremiah Bitsu, he's one of the guys, a really good friend of mine from Breaking Bad. So I've got to introduce a few different people. Karen Wacker, she's one of the executive producers on Dawn of the Dead, the Netflix show. So for me, you know, it's been a real blessing that I get to share something that I'm very passionate about, which was originally, let's share it with the hometown, let's take care of Albuquerque. But I get messages from China, Australia, you know, all over the place, from just about everybody, it seems like, kids, men, women, children. It's fun, it's interesting.
And then you have a partner in crime here, and you guys made a home, Growing Fit Studio. You went from being a personal trainer to now really helping run a gym of your own. What is that like for you guys as a team to have this facility, and what is your goal here with this facility?
Well, it's awesome. I don't expect a track star to train a basketball player. That just makes sense. When I brought the Steel Mace program here to Albuquerque, we really didn't know what to think of it. So at the gym I was at, you know, they had just a different idea of fitness. So me being able to bring the mace to Fit Studios, I can teach the mace program the way it's supposed to be taught. What does that mean for my gym, our gym here? Well, we're going to bring in some high-level athletes. We're going to bring some regular people in, and we're going to help sculpt them into the machine they want to be, or get them to the fitness level they want to be. Justin Tafoya, my partner in crime, he's awesome at kettlebells. Actually getting to take him through a little bit of training, and Justin getting to take me through a little bit of kettlebell training, his particular style of kettlebells and my steel mace combo, I mean, it's perfect. So, you could expect to come into our gym and learn about functional training, and not a system that is far off from the other one. I mean, the two go hand in hand. The verbiage goes hand in hand. One good thing about the kettlebells is they go up in weight to a high level. So you can learn how to push and pull up a big amount of weight. Kettlebells are one-handed, so you can have 212 pounds of kettlebell here, or you can work out with a mace, which do two-handed as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what one of our fighters, Nick Urso, does. He's got a fight September 30th. I think he's the co-main event.
RFA.
RFA, exactly. So it'll be neat to see what he does. And I'm really excited about this. Donald and Nick are fighters. I mean, they can fight through just about anything, especially Donald Sanchez. He's got close to 50 fights. I mean, he can't even find a fight right now. But to see those guys have a difficulty and find challenge in something that weighs 10 and 15 pounds, that's awesome. Conrad Padilla, we've got a chance to work out as well. He'll tell you it's no joke. Damasio Page, he's certified in steel mace. Carlos Condit, he's certified in steel mace. Donald Cerrone is one of my favorite fighters. He has a collection of steel mace. He's sponsored by Onnit. There's a reason why the best fighters in the world are working out with the steel mace. You
have the gym. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you guys and how are you doing with it's still also open to the public and just regular classes?
Yeah, so here, our owner Jeff, he's a great guy, and he's gave Justin and I the ability to come up with a program that I think will work out for everybody. Now, here's the deal. At Fit Studios, it's $50 a month. That's pretty good.
Well, let me tell you what you get with that $50 a month. You get unlimited classes. You can take as many classes as you want. We teach, I think, 4 a day. 2 mace classes, 2 kettlebell classes. We teach at 6 in the morning, 12 in the afternoon, 4:15 and 5:30. So now, it's nice that we have a morning, an afternoon, and a night class, but we're open 24 hours a day. Now, one good thing about, this is different, this is a foreign concept. The kettlebell and the steel mace, you can work out anywhere you want. In your living room, at the park. I encourage all of our members to own their own mace. You know, so the day you can't come to the gym, you can work out with it in your living room. So if I can take away the excuse if I have to make it to the gym to work out, you can work out at home. That's awesome. My instructor, Eric Meeland, he's got an on-demand channel. It's pretty cheap. It's like $9 a month, and you can train with him. Heck, you can come by the studio, and for $50 a month, you can train with me every day. Our personal training, because I do like a hands-on approach, a one-on-one, just to keep everything safe. You know, make sure you learn the right way. It's our neighbor. We offer a really reasonable personal training rate. Often when I tell people our rates, they ask me, "Are you sure?" I came from a place that was extremely expensive to afford personal training, but now that we have a creative control, $50 a month for the gym, anybody can afford personal training here. Whether it's a group class or one-on-one, if you've got $20 in your pocket, we'll teach you.
One thing that keeps coming up with your answers is functionality. How much was that a focus of the curriculum and what you guys wanted to do here?
Yeah, functional training I think is where it's at. Functional training will teach you how to keep your mobility. I think when we're born, we're as mobile as can be. I can do the splits, most kids can, and the older you get, your mobility changes. The last thing to leave us, I believe, is our strength. Here in Albuquerque, you'll see it all the time. The guy who labored his whole life, he still can carry his grocery bags, even though he walks at a slow pace. He's not mobile, but he's strong. So my founding youth is to train people in mobility and functional strength. Anybody can sit on a machine and push and pull, but life just doesn't push and pull on you. It takes angles on you. Your opponent. Even if you're swimming and your water's opponent, it doesn't let you hold a straight line. It tries to take you underneath. Functional strength is where it's at. Really, if I'm fighting somebody who's 150 pounds, I should be able to manipulate 150 pounds. We've got all the weights in the world. We've got a set of rope plates, 2 sets, so if you want to do some power lifting, feel free. We wanted to have an open space gym where you could come in, you could swing some mace, do some kettlebells, push some sled on our AstroTurf, flip a tire, do battle ropes, hit our punching bag, do some pull-ups, functional stuff.
Leo, how can people get in contact with you guys to get signed up with the gym?
Well, you guys are welcome to contact us here. Our number's 505-721-0633. You can also reach me at macemovement@gmail.com. The website, you can reach us there too, macemovement.com. My name's Leo Urquides. We're located on Princeton and Comanche, 1 block north of I-25.
Thank you for the time and thank you for all the knowledge,
Thanks,
sir.
man.